Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Town of Monroe Town Board meeting of August 4th. Can I get a motion to open up this evening's meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Bingham will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Okay, so moved. Okay, first item on the agenda in the announcements, we have our bonding company, Noah Nadelson, who will make a presentation on the finances of the town of Monroe. You could sit down if the microphones are working. George, are the microphones working? Okay, you just got to turn that on. And George, I'm sorry, I know you were ready, but I should have confirmed that. If you sit down right there, and then you can just turn the mic on. Okay.
Should we keep it turned face down and only turn it back over when you say so?
No, it's quick. I just,
Thank you.
If there's anybody in the audience that wants to speak, please come up and register with the town clerk. Okay. Noah, just turn that mic on, whichever one. There should be a button on it.
good.
Yep.
It's good.
Great.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for inviting me in. My name is Noah Nadelson. I'm a partner at a firm called Munistat. We have offices in New York and Connecticut. Our primary role is debt and debt management. When the town goes to borrow, they kind of call us. There's a financial side of things, and that's what we handle, and then there's also the legal side, and that's what bond counsel does. So there's basically two parties working on behalf of the town when it's time to issue debt, or when I say issue bonds, that's meaning take out a loan. Taking out a loan, issuing debt, same thing. But it's not just the town, it's villages, it's fire districts, it's counties, all over the state. And like I said, we have an office in Connecticut as well. So again, primary role is debt, but in conjunction with issuance of debt, the town also has to apply for a rating from one of the rating agencies. It's a necessary component in order to make the bonds marketable to the investors. So we just finished a successful sale of the bonds for the property acquisition, and so we thought it would be a good idea to kind of just give you a little bit of feedback. I don't want to take any more than say 10 minutes or so. I get into the weeds a little bit here, but again, I wanted to just give you a little bit of feedback after what happened when we spoke to Standard & Poor's, specifically as it pertains to debt and the financial condition. So there's four factors that go into a rating. There's the economy and tax base, so that's what backs the bonds. Then there's financial results, revenues over expenditures, debt, and then management. And so the economy and tax base makes up about 30 to 40% of the rating, financial results another 30, 40%, and then debt only about 10%, and same thing with management. So kind of getting into this, I have little narratives, but I'm not going to kind of read through this. I'm just going to, I'm going to fly through, but slow me down and interrupt at any time. So going on to like the first slide here. So again, a little introduction. The debt profile, it's a little snapshot of the current, outstanding indebtedness. And then I thought this was interesting. 75% of the infrastructure needs that come, in the country happen here, So we're, in debt is that kind of way in which we get things done. Financial condition is measured by the town's assets and liquidity and fund balance. Fund balance is key, to the rating agencies, how much money you have in the bank. Stronger the fund balance, the better everybody feels. And so, the county is one of the fastest kind of growing counties. It's probably this and Saratoga, I think they say is the fastest growing counties in the state. So, we see a lot of growth everywhere, and what it requires is to invest in the infrastructure. Moving on. So where are we now? And, how do you kind of determine the appropriate amount of debt or fund balance you should keep? And what do? We look to the guidance for the rating agencies. So there's key metrics. Again, this is getting a little bit technical here, but that's just, there's a model that Standard & Poor's uses, and you fall into that model that helps determine the rating. So I'm onto this key market metrics. I can't even see what page that number that is.
5.
5? Oh, thank you. I got a black and white copy. Available fund balance in excess of 35%, debt service, net debt as a percentage of the market value, so the amount of debt as a percentage of all the values in the town, and then debt per capita. This next slide, everybody kind of asks for this, but when I'm doing this, how do we compare against other towns? And the fact is, it's impossible to compare this town to any other town, or any town for that matter. You don't know, specifically, so for example, some water and sewer is handled at the village level, and so therefore the town doesn't have much debt. Goshen is a good example where the village did that big wastewater treatment plant many years ago. The other thing is you don't know what people have in the pipeline. What we did is a comparison as of the most recent available information, 2024. But you don't know what people are planning, so this snapshot right here, and as you know, there's probably a lot of public information about some of the big projects that are going in and around the county. The bond ratings. So as we see, the town has one of the highest ratings in the entire county. Speaking of Goshen is it's one notch higher. When Legoland moved in, S&P got upgraded them basically because of all those host fees.
I think we're okay without Legoland.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
Without the traffic.
Right. All right. So next is the amount of debt that you have. This is whatever we are now. I should just use my color thing here.
8.
On slide 8, right? So various purpose debt. That's a little bit of highway debt, little bit of highway debt. And there's a little description of what the bonds have been issued for. So we'll kind of go into that next. You see that there's on slide 9. There's several bonds outstanding. Some of them were issued for a shorter period of time, some were longer. There was actually one bond maturing the $890,000 actually matures next year, which is good. Okay, so going on to page 10. This is the first bond that we got involved with back in 2020, this building. Some trucks and water district improvements. Next year, some more water district improvements. The payment and settlement. Next year, there's some highway. In 2021, some highway vehicles, water district improvements, and then finally the two property acquisitions on page 14. So onto the financial part of things. Getting back to that, capital assets and fund balance. Again, the stronger, the higher it's a measure of financial condition. Yes.
With the water districts, only the people who live in that district are paying for it.
Yeah.
But you included it with everything the town owns.
Yeah, I look at, it's a great point. Because, the way the rating agencies look at it, they actually exclude it from your debt limit because it is paid for by most of the time other sources of revenue, user fees, and you're right, it is specific to special to that special district. So yes, I agree. But I included just total debt. As you see, it makes up a small component anyway, relatively small.
So, as a follow-up to that comment, that doesn't affect our overall summary of the town's financial health in a way that it needs to be separated out for any final summary graphs, does it? I mean, I don't think that affects any final numbers. It was just.
No, I mean, you see at the very end. I mean, there's like I said, the debt makes up only a 10% of the rating, actually, as it stands. And even with that debt, including all that, you kind of fall into these metrics where it's right in the range where they would consider, and you'll see, I mean, Standard & Poor's in their report said it had a low manageable debt profile. I mean, their words, So, anything else? Okay. So, again, it's this is part of, and incidentally, when it comes to a review by Standard & Poor's, I mean, they keep us on the phone for an hour, and they ask all kinds of questions, and again, talking about, future plans or current plans and management style and all that kind of stuff. And this is part of the presentation that we give to them to show that growth in the capital assets, right? And it demonstrates a strong, financial condition, of the town. The next one, the total fund balance, again, it's all about trends, right? So you see that trend of fund balance growing, over the last several years, which, again, gives investors the confidence to invest in a town that they are in a strong position. Okay, so where do we fall in these market metrics that I introduced earlier? So, again, total debt as a percentage, and again, this is all total. I'm using totals. I'm not excluding the water debt, but if you did, you'd look even better. Full market value, that means all the properties, it's $3.5 billion. All the property, all the taxable property within the town is worth $3.5 billion, which has grown pretty dramatically over the past 5 years as well. Total debt, as of 25.7, and debt as a percentage of market value is less than 1%. Rating agencies like to see less than 3%. Check. Same thing with the debt per capita. It's the total debt divided by the amount of people, the population. Want to see in that range of 1,000 to 1,500, it's in that 1,200 range. Debt service as a percentage, it's the next slide, debt service as a percentage of expenditures. Again, total budget across all funds, 15 million, total debt service in 26. Again, there's one more bond there's a bond that's actually maturing after 26. It'll go down from there. So right now, again, in that range of 8 to 15, it's at 12.5%. The following year, it'll be down to 11%. Okay. Now this is an interesting one, a fund balance. Again, it's all taken from their model, but their model is supposed to accompany all towns, right? So if you have a bigger town, bigger budget, as a percentage of, you don't necessarily need such a strong fund balance, as strong a fund balance. So their minimum threshold that they want to look at is 35%. Now, that being said, we have some funds that are, $4 million, $2 million funds. You can't have 30%, it's $600,000 sitting around. You can't have that. That's too low. Right? So for a town like this, of this size, the fund balance should be should be higher than that minimum threshold, just on a nominal basis. Right? You can't look at it from a percentage standpoint. You have to look at it by how much money that actually translates to, right? So, one storm, you need it for cash flow. So anyway, across all funds, and some are stronger than others, the fund balance as a percentage of the expenditures is 80%. So, it's significant. And it's, again, the town, and this is what we do, and this is the conversation that gets had with the rating agencies, or with Standard & Poor's, I should say. And, the rating was affirmed at a double A. So AAA being the best, there are no AAA towns. AA plus and then double A. So we're right there at the really higher end of the rating scale. So, again, it was good to, come in and just share some good news. I'm available for any questions, but I think that was pretty good, like less than 15 minutes.
Have any questions?
What was our rating previously before this
Well,
administration?
it's been that for a little bit now.
Okay.
We got. I can get back to you when it was upgraded from a double A minus to that double A. But it's been a little while already. So they maintained that rating of the double A.
Were you with us before the town of Palm Tree?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, just curious.
Yeah.
You were with us through the financial journey of that.
Yeah. That was a little hiccup there, I guess. But I mean, if you look at the growth since then, again, especially in the tax and the property values, in the fund balance.
I'm just checking that because
Yeah.
everyone has seen, I think, that original presentation of how that would financially impact the town. And so we're on the right track of basically recovering from, losing properties
and
assets.
we were talking to the rating agencies during that time. And as long as you are able to articulate the story, and then they, and then of course follow up with demonstrating what the town has done. It didn't hurt the town at all.
I'd like to just take a look at that, the fact that we have an 80% of our fund balance represents 80% of our budget, right? Our fund
Across all
balance is
funds.
$12 million.
Across all
And
funds.
our budget is $15 million. And when you take a look at that, coupled with slide 16, which is the total fund balance, that chart that you give us that shows us in an upward trajectory toward making improvements. We have made improvements consistently every year since 2019.
Yeah.
We have made improvements to that fund balance. There was some flattening out prior to that, not a whole lot of movement.
That was from
Palm Tree,
Yeah.
yes. But we have advanced our fund balance. And furthermore, what I'd also like to point out is that our fund balance grew even when we had tax
In
cuts.
spite of, yeah.
Even when we cut our taxes by 2%, our fund balance grew. This is good information.
Yeah. So, again, it just in summary, I mean, these are quotes that we took from the report. Low manageable debt position, history of strong and stable financial results, supported by conservative budgeting. And if you just kind of on the outside looking in, you want to be in maintenance mode now. You just, you're in a good spot. You don't, just kind of maintain that. I know it's going to be a challenge, right? It's always going to be a challenge every year, but that should be the goal, because you're in a good spot by all accounts.
From my standpoint, I want to thank you for your assistance with everything. You've been a great asset to the town, and I know you've been here for at least 10 or 15 years, maybe even more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fun, and it's good seeing, I run into some of you at the conferences and all the seminars and stuff, so I appreciate, being here as well.
So I had one final question.
Okay.
Going forward, what do you foresee as the rate the town might be charged for their bonds when we decide to issue them?
Well, I mean, it depends on the term, I think where we are is what they're trying to achieve, in terms of where interest rates are. If you're, selling a 15-year bond, I mean, and you can see, you can go on our website and look at comparable sales. I mean, it's just, everything is a public, competitive bid. And we post the results of sales. So like, for instance, Kingston sold the other day, 15 years, City of Kingston, that is, 367, which is a 15-year bond, 367, which is good. I mean, that's exactly where, what we had, with those ultra low rates, that really wasn't healthy, right? So I think that this is what they're trying to achieve. So as long, I think, and kind of hope to, that these types of rates just maintain right around here. You know, the town did very well on on a 30-year bond. You know, if you're a 30-year bond should get 5%. We got a 440 something. That's normal. 5% on a 30-year bond is normal, and we still did better than that. So people think that maybe rates are high. They're really not. For a 20-year bond, it should be in the 4 to 4.25 range. So I think that that's where you can expect to see. I think that's what they're trying to accomplish, and I think that's normal. Or traditionally, where rates should be. We had that ultra low rate thing wasn't healthy, for us. So, but I don't think they go all, skyrocket or anything like that, or drop that much either. So.
Okay. Else? Thank you, Noah. Appreciate you making the trip up.
Good seeing everyone. Thank you.
All right.
Bye
Have a
now.
good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Mary, did you ever get your answers to the solar farm inquiries, and is this the same company, or is this a different company? The solar farm,
Oh, the solar farm?
the solar farm financials, is this a different?
I don't
Legislator
remember
Toohey?
my original question, so you kind of put me at a disadvantage. I don't
That's okay.
think they were part of it, but I'm not 100% positive.
Okay, we can check over email.
Legislator Toohey?
Is this on?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you to the board for having me tonight. I just have, in the interest of transparency, a quick update regarding something that happened about a week and a half ago in relation to the odor at Airplane Park. It was brought to the attention that Village of South Blooming Grove ran out of chemicals and product, and so it was vitally important because, the village had the grand opening on Monday. I was down there for about 45 minutes and I didn't smell anything, but then people told me subsequently later in the day it did get the odor. So then they had the carnival last weekend, and I guess it was Thursday, possibly, we found out that they weren't treating it for a day or two, and that they were out of product. So EF&S, Environmental Facilities and Services, they got down there. They were able to get a hold of the operator and also some people from the village of South Blooming Grove, and they were able to secure product, which I stopped over at the carnival in the park like 7 times last weekend, the weekend before this past, and I didn't get an odor. So it just shows that, when they didn't get that chemical treated and it was just nothing, then it exasperates it. So right now we have a plan in place with EF&S folks. They'll be monitoring numerous times on a weekly basis, monitoring the inventory and making sure that does not happen again. We're up against enough with that down there, and we don't need anybody to make it any worse. So I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything.
I've been actually following up on this pretty vigorously. I was at the same playground opening, and it was a wonderful opening. And while I wish I could say I didn't smell it, and I wish I could say it wasn't so bad, everyone smelled it. There were parents covering their nose. And I do have to say that, it does not help our case for legislators to be saying that they do not smell it, because I did have an opportunity to meet with the
I've
village
often
of
said it comes and goes.
South
and it
Blooming
does.
Grove, and they are now referencing the Orange County Sewer District 1 meeting where, our Monroe Commissioner, Mary Bingham, the liaison from the Village of Monroe, John Carl, the mayor of Harriman, and other parties all were in attendance, and they were talking about how bad the odor was at the playground.
I was with the mayor of Harriman.
And you were like,
checked with
I
him, and he
couldn't
didn't hear
smell it.
We could go back and forth, but
Right, now they're saying it's arguable, and that Monroe is arguing amongst itself whether this odor is existent or not. And
I'm not saying it's not in existence.
I know, I'm saying that is what they have now taken your comments to basically substantiate the idea that the obnoxious odor is arguable, debatable, whether it exists or not. So
I've never said it didn't exist at all.
I know, I'm saying when you said you didn't smell it,
That-
they're
that's
acting
just
like we're
what
all
happened.
arguing.
That's just what I had felt when I was there.
Yeah.
And I was with the mayor of Harriman, and I was with
They
the
all smelled it.
They did, but
Yeah.
I was there 45 minutes. I don't know, did they bring kids and hang out for a while? You know, I
We were
can't
all
tell you.
there at the same time that you were there, and we all smelled it. I mean, there's no issue with that. It's just that it's not as bad as it used to be, and they did educate me, just to correct one of your statements, that it is never raw. It's never going in without chemical treatment. Apparently, when they run low on their supply, as I've been messaging with DEC directly after the carnival, we received the same updates because I've been following along on this issue. We were very concerned, like, why are they low on supply at all, right? Why do they not have an
That's
extra
the number one question, and
run of
that's why
supply?
it's going to be, it's in their agreements to maintain their systems.
That's what my question was going to be. They have an IMA with.
Yes.
With Moodna. Do they also have an IMA with the county?
Excuse
They
me,
have the
they are not
county
part of
sewer
Moodna. The
use.
Village of South
Okay.
Blooming Grove is not
Okay.
part of Moodna.
Thank you, Mary, I'm corrected
Yeah,
on that.
they're going to, first of all, the IMAs are going to be getting redone in the next year or so. So
When is
it's,
theirs expiring?
I think it's in like about a year and a half, maybe. And then that's when there's more capacity, so they will be, all the communities of Moodna will be getting new IMAs.
And the
Mary,
Village
you-
of South
True.
Blooming
You
Grove
must
will
have
be
heard
getting.
that, right?
Yes, I've heard that.
Yes, yes.
And the Village of South Blooming Grove will also be getting
Yeah,
a new
everybody
IMA.
gets-
And included in this will be the requirement to maintain.
Right now, we're checking to see what we can do as far as enforcement, that if it does happen again. But as of now, in lieu of that information, we're going down there multiple times a week to actually check the inventory.
That's
Oh,
wonderful.
I have a question, too. Bob Gray mentioned he was getting a new ambient air monitor. Do you
Yes.
know if that came in?
That, as of Thursday night, it wasn't in.
It wasn't, okay.
but
And
it-
that will be used once it arrives, basically?
That's going to be used
Yeah.
outside, in the park, in the airplane park. It's going to be everywhere. And also, we send out the readings from the manhole, and you get those every week,
They're
right?
automatic. I don't, but
Oh,
maybe, does the supervisor or one of our engineers get automatic readings?
oh yeah, because it shows that what the levels are in there, and it's, I don't deny that there's an odor from time to time, but it's not all the time, so I'm
So-
sorry I can't agree with you on that.
I didn't say it was all the time. I know it's intermittent because it's the nature of the infiltration and the weather and the elements and the timing of when the sewer interjects into the line. So I know that it's not literally all of the time, but when it was at its height, it was a pervasive, horrendous odor that has since improved since we've contacted the DEC to seal those manhole covers. So we're blessed that that's happened. But just to follow up to your enforcement question, I want to give Councilwoman Mary Bingham a lot of credit on this for reaching out to Bob Gray after the meeting that was
Mary
held.
comes to the sewer meetings once a month.
Yes.
Mary's a very good attendance there.
Well, she's our commissioner, so.
Excuse me?
She's the head of
Moodna.
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 Yes.
Yeah, well, I know, but she came
Chair-
even before.
Chairwoman
She came before she was the head
Oh,
of
I'm sorry.
Moodna, too.
I gave you a promotion, Mary, I'm sorry. Anyway, so she and I were working on current enforcement, as you mentioned, and we said it seems impossible that the county can't currently enforce, so I do want, now that we have you, I have been sending out this email, and we've uncovered that in Orange County Sewer District Number 1, sewer use law, that it claims that the administrative head in his determination can impose upon the municipality to prevent against the formation of obnoxious odors and corrosion of the Orange County Sewer District 1 sanitary sewer system infrastructure. So essentially that means that there's an administrative head who has defined powers, and that this mention of obnoxious odors and corrosive substances, which hydrogen sulfide obviously is, that he can issue violations for the maintenance of sewer quality at the point of discharge, and through the entirety of Orange County Sewer District Number 1, and ensure that limits established in the sewer use law or at his discretion are met. So if we have an administrative head, what can we do about this current enforcement? It seems like we have almost unlimited pseudo-judicial powers, this administrative head, to issue mandates saying this is an obnoxious odor. Please come into compliance by purchasing me a new system. Please come into compliance by ensuring that this chemical treatment is met and that you always have an extra supply, et cetera. So
We have done that, and then they just refused. So now they're looking into further things, possibly legal action. You know, it's,
I think it's Article 12 defines a huge range of enforcement ability for this administrative head. Is that Eric Denega, the administrative
he's the
head?
head of the Department of Public Works.
Do you know who the administrative head is defined?
I would say it's the Deputy Commissioner,
Bob.
Bob Gray.
So it seems that Bob can issue violations, hold hearings, create fines, and he can even have like a court of law. That's why they were defined as pseudo-judicial. So
I can check on that and get back to you.
yeah, that would be wonderful, because it seems, unless there's something we're missing where it just doesn't have teeth, is what we're hearing, that the current county use laws don't have teeth and we'd have to create these agreements. It seems like it all exists in use law within his authority now. So if we can do something as soon as possible, the village would be overjoyed, and the people using the playground, we owe it to them, because it's not tenable.
Yeah, and I know the DEC and the EPA is aware of this. All I can say is that if there was, because I get sometimes comments against me saying that I, you know, just downplay it and all this. You know what? If we've had people say that it's not at dangerous levels. You know, those readings are in the manhole. And the thing is that if there was something very serious and a danger to any of the residents in the town of Monroe or anybody that uses that area down there, the DEC and the EPA would be down so hard on the operations, and it would, and I don't see that. I know that they're aware of it, but they haven't helped with any kind of suggestions or anything. And
I'm aware because I was the complainant to the DEC back at the beginning of the year in
believe me,
January.
EF&S deals with the DEC all the time before you came.
Mandated the sealing of the covers,
Yeah.
which was immediate action. And you're right that the deadly issue is inside the manhole cover. There's no danger now. However, the entire downtown smells like raw sewage. And I think that we should be treating that as a quality of life issue and acting urgently on it.
All right, can we move on? Because you've gone back and forth. Most of this has been, said at prior
Sure.
meetings.
So what I'll do is
thank
I'll
you.
follow up with Ms. Richardson's information, question about legal, and I'll get back to
All
the
right,
board
thank
with
you.
that. I'll be back with the
Thank
board.
you, Legislator Tui. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, you too. Item 3.3 is the First Presbyterian Church of Monroe Chicken Barbecue.
Yes, so this is the 42nd year that the First Presbyterian Church of Monroe is hosting their chicken barbecue. It's going to be held on August 9th. This is rain or shine, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. The church is located right on Stage Road, 142 Stage Road. You can purchase tickets at the church office between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. Tickets are $20, and for that you'll get half of a chicken, macaroni salad, corn, and strawberry shortcake. This is going to support the First Presbyterian Church of Monroe, and they are one of the food pantries that we have here in Monroe, helping to feed the many needy families. So it's great food, and it is a great opportunity for you to help out. Sure. And then our mobile DMV will once again be attending at Town Hall. You can expect to see the mobile DMV on Wednesday, August 20th. They will arrive here for a 10 a.m. start. They will stay here until 3:30. Please note that they are closed from 12 to 1 for lunch. You can do most of what you need to do with the DMV in Goshen. You can do right here in the parking lot, except for take an exam.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Item 3.5 is the Lakeside Fire Department garage sale. That'll be held on September 6th. Rain date set for September 7th. All vendors will arrive at 8 o'clock. Set up the event. The event is open from 10 to 4, and it's going to be held here at Town Hall. Hot dogs and burgers will be for sale. If you want a table, it's $30 for the first table, $25 for the second one. And there will be a breast cancer truck available for items that you no longer want, and they'll only be available, obviously, on that Saturday. If there's a rain date, that truck will not be there. So any items that people do not sell, they can donate to the breast cancer truck. If you need any more information, you could contact Laura Ippolito at 845-325-8238. Mary, you want to go over to Lions Club?
Sure. The Monroe Lions Club is having a community garage sale and a show and sell your crafts and treasure event. Date is Sunday, September 7th. Time is from 9 to 2, but the vendor setup starts at 7:30. The place is the Harriman Army and Navy parking lot. That's 186 Route 17M in Harriman. It's $35 for a space that is 8 by 10, which is just the table. If you wanted to do a tent, that would be 12 by 14, and that's a $50 space. The spaces sell out quickly, so please reach out and call 845-325-6834 to reserve your space and bring your own table, chairs, tent, and your goods that you want to sell. And the deadline is August 30th. Thank you.
Okay, next item up, Sal, is the Monroe Gives Community Yard Sale.
Yeah, that is scheduled for Saturday, September 13th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at St. Anastasia parking lot, Route 17M in Harriman, New York. Vendor spots are $30 for an 18 by 10 space. Advance payment is required. And, you know, it's supporting Monroe Gives, which is a local charity, which everyone should get out and support that event.
Aye.
Okay, sure.
Next up is Southern Orange County Family-Wise Swim Lessons Scholarships available.
Okay, so the YMCA is offering some swim lessons. The scholarship program is open to youths ages from 4 to 18 with an emphasis on supporting families who may be navigating financial limitations or have children who benefit from adaptive learning environments. The YMCA of Middletown and South Orange Family YMCA are committed to your family is navigating financial challenges or your child should benefit from the adaptive learning environment. Yeah, this is another great community event. I encourage everyone to, if you don't know someone, don't participate, find someone who.
Thank you. Item 4.1, I don't think there's a need to go into executive session. So old business, item 6.1. Council, do you want to discuss the amended advisory opinion 2025-1?
I think this was a correction regarding BOE opinions that was clarifying, concerned the former highway superintendent and clarified, I believe, that he did not, that he does not work at the company that was involved in that complaint, the private company. I think that's the only correction to that opinion.
You mean currently?
Yes.
Acknowledge the findings.
But there's no finding here. I mean, it's a unfounded, so, or no jurisdiction, so you would just note the acceptance of this one.
Okay. Right. I will note the acceptance of that advisory opinion 2025-1. Next up is the Board of Ethics advisory opinions. Did you want to go over those as well, Council, please? Those are 2025-2 and 2025-3.
These are the opinions from the last meeting, I believe, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, but this is just re-voting on the same resolutions, because although it wasn't raised on the evening of the meeting, Councilwoman Richardson raised an issue of the 24 hours, an open meetings concern. Sorry, we'll take a moment.
Five-minute
I think we're okay.
As a to
We're okay.
So we are basically just taking an informal 5-minute recess, or however. Yeah.
We don't know how long it's going to be.
Any show tunes? Know any show tunes? I think we should.
Make a motion that we enter into
no.
your, I make a motion that we do nothing.
Never mind.
Go ahead.
I was going to make a motion that we were going to enter into a recess, but
No.
obviously we don't need to.
Go ahead.
All
Okay.
right, so just starting in, this was to put these back on the agenda because a concern was raised with the 24-hour notice. Although it hadn't been raised that night, it was raised after the fact. So rather than leave that concern out there, the board can just approve the same resolutions as you did at the last meeting with respect to the Board of Ethics opinions.
Okay. All right, so I'll make
I don't think these were noticed, though, either publicly, were they?
Yeah, they're on the agenda.
Were
They're-
the documents attached?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the public portion.
I did just want to mention that you said it was moot because it was already an unfounded opinion for one of them, but there's an issue with one of the recommendations are unlawful in the opinion. So I don't know if we're going to do a revote. There's a viewpoint discrimination recommendation in it, so I don't want to have the board adopt the liability of affirming, that an elected official shouldn't be filing an ethics complaint, and they shouldn't be filing an ethics complaint against another elected official.
I don't think that's what we're talking
That's
about.
not
on
in
there.
there.
Okay.
This is
Then
just the opinions from the last
that
town
were
board.
found.
What's that?
That were found.
Well, not all of them. One was not founded as well. There were 3, I believe.
Right. But the Patterson opinion is the one that had that in there. That's what I'm saying.
We already acknowledged that one.
Yeah, that was the,
So
This
we
would
didn't
be
have
the
to
other two.
vote to accept that, though. He just stated that he,
because it was a no jurisdiction
Right.
unfounded. There's no recommendation from the Board of Ethics.
yes, we're not adopting it. So it's not a formal vote. So
It's
then
just
these are the
received.
ones that are just the advisory opinions that were found jurisdictional.
Are the ones, yes, last time that the board did accept a recommendation on one of them, accepted the unfounded determination on the other.
Which one was, oh, yeah, yep, I see what you're saying. So it was the 2.
I believe 2 left now, right?
Yeah, yep. So 20025-2 was the originator was Christina Kiesel. The subject was Councilwoman Richardson, and it was founded, and we censored you in the last meeting. I don't intend to read that again. Just want to acknowledge the fact that that was done. and I'll make a motion to accept those recommendations.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Because I voted nay the last time, does that negate my vote for no? So I'm just saying that this is the revision, and that's all I'm voting for.
It's not a revision. This
Not a
is
revision.
It's
the
not a
same
revision.
exact resolution as last time. It's just being done again because of the concern that was raised about,
It was unlawful
24
to
hours.
adopt this without putting it out 24 hours.
well, I wouldn't agree with that, but
Well, that's why you're doing
We're-
it again, otherwise
No,
you don't
because
have to
it-
agree
Wait,
with it.
wait,
it's
Mr. Nugent,
just a
why are
wise
we doing
move
it again?
because it doesn't make any sense. If the issue's going to be raised, why not put it to bed, okay? The fact of the matter was they were on the agenda, they were available to the board, even if they weren't out publicly because they were discussed in executive session. Secondly, the law is not 100% you must do it. It's to the extent practicable. So
Oh, it was
rather
practicable, yes,
than get
it
into
was.
the debate, the board is correcting
on
it,
debate,
which
I
I would
reached
have
out
thought
to
you
OML.
wanted because you raised the issue, so we're correcting it. I don't know why you'd object to that since you raised the concern in the first place.
Because it's unlawful in the first place.
Okay, so if it's being fixed, then you should have no
It's not being
concern.
fixed, you shouldn't adopt
So,
opinions.
so essentially, Mary, you can,
You can
I mean,
vote
if
no.
you want to vote no, you can vote no.
Okay, I vote nay.
Scangro, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson abstain.
Okay, item, the advisory opinion of 20-25-03. The town board accepts the recommendation of the Board of Ethics, and it was unfounded, correct, counsel?
Yeah, this, you can just accept the unfounded determination that you're not disagreeing with that.
And if memory serves, there were no recommendations in this one.
It wasn't really a
So
recommendation, it was just a
we
finding.
were just accepting the findings
Yeah.
in the opinion of the Board of Ethics.
True, yeah. I mean, technically, you don't have to accept the recommendation because there isn't one on this. It's just you're receiving the opinion and basically accepting it because you're not disagreeing with the finding.
Okay,
If you disagreed, you would have the option to set up your own hearing and all of that.
I made the motion.
I'll second.
Wait, why are we voting on this one if we didn't vote on the other?
We did.
Well, sure, to the highway one wasn't accepted earlier. It's up to the board. If you don't want the
Okay,
record,
I'll
it's-
withdraw my motion.
yeah,
then.
we'll just note that it's accepted.
Okay.
Or whatever there was received.
All right, so moved. So what I'd like to do, since we're on the topic, is bring in the 11.1, the Board of Ethics concern, letter of grave concern that was sent to myself and the board, which I forwarded to on Friday, just to make everyone aware of what the decision from the Board of Ethics was. So everybody had a chance to read it?
I have.
Any comments?
Well, it's a volunteer board, that I understand, and kind of when Morangi was here too, they said all of a sudden they were inundated with complaints that they had never had before, or requests for a refund of the $12. There is a saying in the financial markets, past history does not indicate future performance. Just because a board maybe saw one complaint a year for however many years that board was in service, doesn't mean that you're going to come into a year where there's going to be a lot of complaints for whatever reason, whether they're justified or not. So I think the board they should be able to accommodate the number of complaints coming in. They don't necessarily have to turn them in like a week or whatever. I don't think we've ever given them a time limit to research items. So I'm a little perplexed as to why all of a sudden now they can't accommodate and do all the work that is expected of them in a high volume time of complaints.
I think what their position was, and I do have to agree with it, is that within 2.5 hours of our last meeting at 11:30, there were 2 emails sent by Councilwoman Richardson to town board members and Board of Ethics members threatening lawsuits against each member.
Which
So
is my right.
I'm speaking, please. So if you don't think that's retribution, when they didn't make a decision and they're already threatened with a lawsuit because that particular advisory opinion didn't go Councilwoman Richardson's way, then I don't know what is. Because you had,
misguided.
I'm not finished, please let me finish.
Well, you're not going in order, so please let me know when you've finished.
You know what? I'll turn it over to you, then I'll finish. Go ahead.
No, I said I'm happy to wait. I mean, I'm going to read an entire statement and then submit the remaining portion, and I need to ask Brian how to formally submit that into the record. So you can go right ahead.
Oh, I'm going to wait. Anybody else want to comment?
I'm going to get comfortable.
So I can have extra time because you're going to let me just read the whole thing?
I'm not giving you extra time. You're going to have a few minutes. And when I decide...
So if I sit here silently and lose time,
When I
I'll use
decide
it.
enough is enough, since I am in charge of the meeting...
That's actually completely illegal.
You want me to set the
Why
clock?
don't you get started, Maureen?
Why don't you
Stop wasting our time.
ask counsel if that's completely illegal?
Typically, in the past, you put up for 3 minutes, but it's up to the board. If you want to set a time, at least there'll be a time. Doesn't need to be endless. I don't know what you plan to do. Are you reading the 6-page letter that was sent
I'm
today?
reading maybe just a summarization of certain overarching paragraphs, but again, I'm last in line. If the ethics board has decided that compliance with the meeting decorum rules and a violation of the decorum rules is actually an ethics violation, then we don't have the lawful or ethical ability to deviate from what's written in those rules, is my point. And he's saying that we're all going to sit here silent. Like, what is going on? We're all going...
All right, so why don't you begin your point, and you can put up a time. Can you put up a timer that just counts up instead of down, or no?
I
Goes
don't
down,
understand
3
what you
minutes,
mean.
3 minutes, 1
So-
minute, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes.
you mean like timing
Or I
it
can
over?
customize
Oh,
the
yeah.
minutes.
Let's start with 3
Let's
minutes.
start with 3 minutes. Go
See
ahead.
how it goes.
Okay. Essentially, the ethics board seems confused about what its position and role in the town actually is. First of all, there's been a number of ethics complaints that I've submitted. I wouldn't even say, I would say a handful of ethics complaints I've submitted as an official coming in, concerns about dual employment, concerns about consultants, concerns about financial disclosures and certain expenditures made by the town that I have.
Can I just ask one question? Why don't you stay focused on the issue at hand
What
that we're
is going
discussing?
on right now? He's literally interrupting me during
No,
a timed speech,
Stop.
which is exactly
Stop.
what I was accused of doing wrongfully and then found unethical of conduct because none of us are complying with meeting decorum. So what is the intent? That's the entire, I mean, if that action didn't just prove that this is a complete and utter political sham and that no one is actually concerned or actually legitimately conflating the meeting decorum rules, which we selectively enforce, as I'm sure you are aware,
I asked you to just stick to the topic. The topic
presiding
is...
officer-
you
if you-
cannot do that.
Yes, I
I
can.
have a prescribed time to speak, and you do not
But we're-
content
no,
enforce.
No,
Pause
no.
the timer,
We're on an
please.
agenda item. We're not just.
I am
public
speaking
comment.
on the
That's
agenda
all he
item.
was
This
saying.
is
You weren't-
ridiculous.
Well,
All I was saying...
I'm going to wait quietly until the men calm down.
Well, we're discussing the Board of Ethics letter.
Yes.
So that's what we're supposed to be talking about. Do you want to address that?
I'm waiting for you to stop talking for me to address it. I wouldn't want to accidentally interrupt someone.
Done.
Thank you. So,
Councilwoman Richardson, just so you know, I cannot restart that clock. There was 2 minutes and 28 seconds left,
we'll see how...
so I'm setting it on my
Thank
phone.
you. Thank you. Excuse me. I just need a second. As I was saying, the type of response that I was getting was inappropriate recommendations that said elected officials cannot or should not be filing ethics complaints, and particularly against other elected officials. And as I've put out multiple times, I've ignored this recommendation because it is unlawful for a number of reasons. However, it has come back now as a matter of grave concern in the most recent and most tangible, what I would say, concern of dual employment. a elected official was publicly accused by a number of people for having a job with a town supplier. And essentially, we retain a wonderful lawyer for our ethics trainer named Steve Leventhal, and his training was very enlightening. The entire point of the ethics board is to, if there are problems like that, an opinion and a decision by the ethics board can go a long way in assuaging public concerns and doubts. So when I submitted a request for an investigation of a potential conflict of interest as an elected official, that does actually help the health, the public perception of the town of Monroe, particularly when that elected official is found legitimately clean of any impropriety. That is why we do public disclosures. That is why we have ethical procedures in the first place. So it's extremely disheartening and upsetting to continuously receive unlawful concerns by the ethics board with prior restraint, with speaker restraint, with speaker discrimination, viewpoint discrimination, that because I am an elected official, I should not be filing complaints when I am the one seated in a position where even in our own code, it outlines us as the watchdogs, and these complaints are not meant to be a bullying tactic, a political tactic, but a negative determination often helps with the perception of the public that we can say, look, they did an investigation, there was no ill will, and those are what disclosures are for.
It's time.
So for my particular letter regarding the situation, I perceive that the ethics board is trying to go backwards, that they are trying to tell me that not only were they telling me previously that I am not allowed to use it as an elected official, they're now saying that all of the grave concerns that I had with the unlawful opinions that I was receiving in response to legitimate ethical concerns, that all of this was political. Well, that makes no sense, because if I can't stop a commenter from commenting on a primary election when it is against the rules 13 through 16, and I am mandated both ethically and by all sorts of New York State constitutional laws not to allow politics to invade into our government space, then why is it that I am being stopped from using a public ethics complaint?
15 seconds.
It's unlawful, and it's a continuous retaliation, and to continue to pretend that to seek court relief is literally the only option. It is not a threat, it is not retaliation, and to continue to treat it as such is unlawful treatment of a member of this board.
So, as I had stated in my response to the email, most of our boards are fully volunteer. We ask these members of our community come out to these meetings and to do a service for the town. They take time away from their families, they take time away from work, and they do this as a service to the town of Monroe with absolutely no financial recompense at all whatsoever. It is becoming increasingly difficult to get people to volunteer for things like this. And to find out that there is an article about the Board of Ethics, to find out that some of these things were said about our all-volunteer board is disturbing. And so I'd just like to publicly thank all of the members of all of our boards, but specifically the Board of Ethics, for your time, for your consideration, for your for the opportunity that you give us to be able to have boards like this. So you, I'm proud to know you, and I thank you for your service.
Real quick, they're volunteers. I mean, they do the best job they can. They work hard. They put in a great effort every day. And listen, most of these complaints are coming from the same person all the time. The same person makes the same complaints. It gets old. It gets winded. We've all had it. Enough is enough. You know, we're supposed to work together as a team. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but, you know, the same person makes the complaints all the time. And that board, like everyone stated, is a volunteer board.
They're appointed. They're public officials.
He's speaking, please.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'll just, you could give me 2 minutes, Val. I'm fine with 2 minutes. So like I said, within 2.5 hours of the July 14th meeting, there was a threat against our entire Board of Ethics. They're not recusing themselves from accepting your complaints. What they're doing is they're not going to make a decision on anything until after the political season is over. Aside from the fact that within 2.5 hours, there was that email sent out at around 11:30, by 8:15, there were 17 notices of violation for the Ethics Board to review. Now, the thing with the Ethics Board is they have an attorney. They have an attorney on a retainer. Every individual complaint takes between 4 to 6 hours to handle. So you're asking them to spend all that time on what they feel are frivolous complaints and retaliatory complaints because the complaint at the meeting did not go that person's way. So I will say this, we cannot allow our town board to do this. We're supposed to be held to a higher standard, and we're supposed to respect those that we appoint in these positions. And we will do that, and I will say that within 12 hours after that, those 17 violations or ethics concerns were handed. So by 8:15, the town clerk had those violations.
30
And
seconds.
thank you. And it's very threatening and retaliatory and frivolous behavior that they should not be subject to because they're doing this on their own time. And it's very frustrating to see that. And, you know, I will say that, you know, I'm not going to say it. I'll let it go from there.
Excuse me, I forgot to ask you
Nope.
how to
We're done.
submit this formally into the record as part of my legislative comments because we have the right to do that. So during preceding my speech, I said that I needed to ask you that. And
Yeah, so the clerk can note the correspondence. We don't, as far as I know, put correspondence in its entirety in the minutes, but that can be referenced that it was received. It'll be on file with the town clerk's office, and if anybody wants to get a copy, they can. When you say put in the record, it's not a public hearing, so minutes don't usually include letters. They just indicate a letter was received.
okay, well, I
You would submit it to the clerk for
would
that.
submit it to the clerk and say that it is a foilable document now for anyone who is interested in a summarization of the complaints as written by my attorney that shows that this is not frivolous, nor retaliatory, nor threatening, but a lawful continuation of my right as both a resident and a town board member to use both the courts and the ethics board to seek relief. And Val, did you get a digital copy already, or do you need? Yeah. Hard copy or just? Okay.
Okay, item 7.1 is a motion to open the continuation of public hearing regarding local law A-V1 2025 to amend Article 6, Chapter 53, condemning material used for water pipes in the town of Monroe. I'll make a motion.
Bingham,
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
No public comment.
No public comment. Okay, I spoke to Dave Fritz. We have a water meeting tomorrow.
Yes.
We're going to go over more details then. I would like to put this back up on the agenda for a public hearing. I'll keep it open till September 2nd at 7 p.m. or immediately thereafter.
I think September 15th might be better because we would have another water meeting before that. I think we're going to need 2 water meetings in order to flush out all, sorry for that, flush out all the details.
Pun intended.
Okay, I'll go along with you, Councilwoman Bingham.
Okay, so you made the motion. I'll second for September 15th.
15th. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Item 8.1 is the acceptance of the 2025 July 14th meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
And alterations,
No,
corrections.
Val's got it all.
All right. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Stancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
So moved. 9.1, general fund abstract. Be it resolved that the Town Board of Town of Monroe requests approval of abstract number 25-14, general fund containing checks 37066 through 37163, totaling $624,358.94.
Poole, second.
Call the question.
Abstain, as I didn't actually see them, and I looked in the conference room, so sorry. So I'm going to abstain.
Stancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Aye.
Okay, so moved. Item 9.2 is the escrow abstract. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Monroe requests approval of abstract number 25-10, escrow fund containing checks 2232-2235, totaling $23,730.93. I'll make that motion.
Poole,
Second.
Second that?
Sal.
Sal, call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Stancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, so moved. Up, item 10.1, budget transfer. Be it resolved that the Town Board of Town of Monroe approves budget transfer abstract 2025-6, totaling $4,500 for 2025 expenditure adjustments. Do I have a second?
Second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Stancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Item 10.2 is the short-term rental application of 10 Twin Lakes Road, SBL number 19-1-1.3.
11.2.
11.2, 10
sorry.
Twin Lakes Road.
11.2, short-term application, yep. Did I get a copy of that?
Copies of.
Okay. Jacob Zuckerman, Zeikerman, you here? Come on up. Good evening, how are you? Just state your name and where you live. That's right, let him go there.
Hi, my name is Jacob Zicherman. I live in the city and I own a second home here in Monroe, 10 Twin Lakes Road, and I'm coming here very often. In the times when I'm not here, I'm trying to cover my mortgage and expenses, so I'm going to do a short-term rental.
Right, so I'm gonna kind of dovetail with our attorney here, because we did have some questions here, and there's some corrections that need to be adjusted. The application actually states that you're the owner of the property,
Yes,
but you have a LLC that is listed as the owner of record on the Orange County records. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. There was a form that stated incorrectly, instead of LLC, it was listed as LLS. The actual
Bless you.
insurance certificate lists you at 167 Hopkins Street in Brooklyn as the insured. And I know it says the property location there, but I think that should be either the location you live at or the location, and I'll defer to our attorney on this, or the location of the property, because it's confusing in the entity disclosure form is where it says LLS, 10 Twin Lakes LLS, and it lists 670 Flushing Avenue, number 215, Brooklyn. On the insurance, certificate of insurance, it lists 167 Hopkins Street. And then on the application, it lists It's 199 Lee Street, so it's all over the place. And
So-
I know Dory had a concern about the mailing, so I'll let her.
I reached out to one of the people who are listed on the mailing, and they didn't receive the mailing at all. As a matter of fact, they're listed 3 times, and they didn't receive it to any of the members who live in that house. So I'm hoping that you can send that out to them again.
When was this mailing done?
He has receipts.
Yeah.
I'm asking him a question. When was the mailing done?
We sent it twice. We sent it a couple months ago, and then we sent it again last month.
It says January 17th.
Yeah, we sent it in January, and then we sent it again last month. We have the receipts for that.
That he didn't receive any of them.
They don't receive mail all the time. I sent someone a certified mail, and they signed for it, and then they said they didn't receive it.
That's the problem. This is not certified.
This isn't
Right,
certified.
but it's not, does it have to be certified? It doesn't,
This is
it's not
certified.
by
We
law.
sent certified.
Has to go return receipt. Am I correct, counsel? Okay.
It was certified mail. I have
It
the
was
receipts.
certified. Yes,
don't-
but if
there's
they
no-
nail the sticker to the door and you don't pick it up, that still counts.
But the receipts only showed the purchase of stamps. The receipts didn't show the purchase of certified mailings.
One from January?
The one from January shows the purchase of
Yeah,
30
sure it was.
stamps.
Yeah, this says it was only $21. Do you
So-
have the receipts for the certified mailings?
All I'm asking is that you mail it again to, and I can tell you which resident said that they didn't receive it. I can tell you at the ends of the meeting which one it was.
We'll clarify with you whether it has to just be proof of mailing.
Regular.
What?
Regular mail.
Regular mail.
Okay.
There's-
Because with proof of mailing, but it's regular mail.
Yeah, we
so
always actually have proof
That doesn't
of
have to
mail.
be certified. It could be the proof of mailing. You can actually mail something and get proof of mailing from the post
Right.
office.
Is
but it's
that
not
different
necess-
from stamps?
No, but it's different than certified. Well, it's different. You can
Is-
put stamps on the envelope,
Ah.
but
Right.
you can ask for a proof of mailing. When you mail something, it's not certified, it's not tracked, but it's proving that you were there and you mailed those envelopes. You might buy stamps at the same time, but it's an additional cost.
So then my question is, does this receipt for stamps satisfy the proof of mailing?
No, the proof of mailing is a document the post office gives you that literally proves and says you mailed it, doesn't track, doesn't do anything else, but it would have the address and say, here's the proof that I mailed something to this address on this day. Whether they got it or not is not required that you show receipt. But
Okay.
you do have to show the mailing and the proof of that.
Okay.
That's the only
Yeah, we do
qualifier
have-
for proof of mailing, and they don't have that here.
You could do that?
Yeah.
It's not in this document package.
There's a list of homes and addresses that you
You have to get the proof of mailing from the post office. They will give you a document showing the proof of mailing. And in all honesty, we have to be fair here because it happened to 2 other short-term rental applications where they had to resend it out. So you're going to have to get a proof of mailing.
Really, there's going to be one for every envelope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you just have to make sure all your documents are filed correctly with the same address.
If I can give, everything needs to be the same address. Doesn't
No,
matter.
let
which-
me just
No.
explain that.
Yeah.
There's 2 things here, right? There is the applicant or designated agent, that can be you, and that should be your address. Then there's the owner of the property. Right now, your short-term rental application improperly lists you as the owner of the property, but you're not. It's the LLC, all right? That LLS, that's easily correctable. Obviously, it should be LLC. But that's the owner of the property. Even though you might be the single-member owner,
Yeah.
you're not the owner of the property. Legally, the LLC is. That's what happens when you create an LLC. You no longer personally own it. The LLC does, regardless that you might be the primary or single-member manager. So that address is also inconsistent as to where the LLC is located. It's got different addresses. So there should be two, in my view, two addresses throughout this application. One for the LLC, which appears to be the address the supervisor just mentioned, that it's registered under Secretary of State at that address. And the other one would be wherever you actually reside, your home address. But there's at least three addresses, maybe four right now, throughout the application. So that would need to be fixed. The proof of mailing you would need to show that you at least mailed to these specific addresses. And I think your corporate entity, I'll double check it, I'm not sure if that's one of them I dealt with recently, was not active, what they call past due. But I'll look at that right now and double check for you. If it's not current, it just needs to be brought current. But I think you might have been okay on that.
And these are easy fixes, and you're welcome to come back to the September 2nd meeting.
You reside in Monroe?
No, I live in Brooklyn, and I have here my second home.
I'm sorry, what were you saying? Speak into the mic.
Oh, it's probably not on.
If I provide the information, can it get approved this time? Let's say.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. No, it's got it.
I think it's an easy one. I think we have the papers that we send out the mail. I mean, it's for sure we send it out, and we do have the document. I don't know where we have it, but for sure we have the information that we send out the list.
September 2nd is obviously less than a month away.
Correct, but it's still 30 days. We're losing money.
Yeah, but I don't fill these papers out. You do. And you're the one that has to fill it out correctly, because I don't know which address goes where.
What he's trying to say is that if there are mistakes on the application or it's not up to the universal
I know what he's trying
standard,
to say.
I'm talking to him. If it's not up to a universal standard, the board cannot legally vote yes on it because it would not be fair to the other applicants who went through the diligence and met the standards that we require, and we could get in trouble because we do not have the proof of mailing. So if we believe you because we see that you bought stamps and we see that you're very concerned about getting this done correctly, but it doesn't matter. We have to have the proof of mailings.
A question to you. When you reached out to neighbors and they told you they didn't receive the mail?
They didn't
I reached out to one of the names that was on the list that you supplied us with the residents that you mailed this to, and they said that they didn't receive it. So what I'm asking is that at the end of the meeting, I'll let you know who on that list didn't receive it, and then if you can...
You're going to have to send it to everyone again anyway to get the proof of mailings.
Right.
So it does not matter. So just send it to everyone.
But this is not proof that they didn't send out, because a lot of people see something from the town, just put
Well, listen
No,
to me.
I can tell you this person does not do that.
If you go to the post office and when you mail it, if you get a proof of mailing document, that's all we need.
That's it.
Whether they say they didn't get it or not, we know you mailed it. That's it.
That's all we need.
Yeah, there is, I see it now, it just looks like you bought stamps. There is no proof of mailing. So you got to ask, they know what it is. You say to the post office, I need proof of mailing for each one of these envelopes. And they'll give you a green receipt that'll indicate you mailed it to that address. That's all you need. You don't need proof of receipt. You just need proof of the mailing.
And it doesn't cost any additional money?
It does, yes.
Oh, it does?
It does. I don't know how much. It's not as much as certified or anything. It's just a little bit more.
Can I just ask, if I clarify that this LLC is owned by me, will that be sufficient?
No, I know it's owned by you. You're the single member, but you're not the owner of the property. You, as
So it
Mr.
has to be changed.
Zischerman, so when it says owner on that application, and when this town board approves that application, it needs to be the owner of the property, which is 10 Twin Lakes LLC. It's not you. I understand completely that you might be the sole member, but once you created that LLC and you put that deed and filed it with Orange County in that LLC, you personally are not the owner. You just run the corporation. So for what we ask there is for the property owner's identification. That's the person on file in the county, and that's 10 Twin Lakes. So that's just a correction. You just got to fix the application so it has the right owner on it, and then just square up those addresses so we have yours and Twin Lakes, whatever the corporate address is, and that's available online. Your status is good, you're active, and you're current. So it's really just correcting the application. But the proof of mailing is more important because our code allows people to object, and then that event there would be a public hearing. If they didn't get the mailing, or we don't know that they got that it was actually mailed out, then we're not allowing for the objection.
Okay, if I have proof that they did receive the mailing, and the LLC is corrected, this is the only...
I can't...
The next meeting.
Yeah, at the next
For the
meeting.
next meeting.
We'll
Yep.
review it. I don't see any obstacles right now.
Okay.
But I would get that mailing done sooner than later because you're going to need to show that
Yeah.
was mailed. So I would get that done first. is
Tomorrow.
Get those mailed out again.
Morning.
Yeah, where can I get the letter, to which addresses I have to send it out?
No, we have the letter, it's fine.
Fine.
It's in your packet. You have those addresses in your
Should I
packet.
send that
So you-
again to everybody?
You
No,
have
you
to
don't have
send
to
the
send.
letter to everybody.
He doesn't have to send it again if he have the proof. If he doesn't have the proof that he sent it, then he have to send it again, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
and Brian,
Thank you very much.
for
All right,
ownership,
thank you so much.
All right.
doesn't the owner of a short-term rental have to reside in the town of Monroe or get a property manager? Reside in the town of Monroe or get a,
No, within 2
No, it's a
hours or
distance and a
60
time,
miles.
But Brooklyn would fall into, it's 2 hours, 60
Thank you.
miles.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Hool, you want to go
Yes.
over? Item 10.3 is the Community Concerns Hotline. Have
Yes.
a good evening.
So the town of Monroe has come up with a hotline available for residents to be able to call with any concerns that they may have. This is the Community Concerns Hotline. The phone number is, and this will be on the website, right, Val? Yep. So the phone number is 845-783-1004. We need to make sure that everyone knows that this is for non-emergencies. Obviously, if you're experiencing an emergency, you should call 911. But if there are any non-emergency quality of life issues that are happening in your community, please reach out to 845-783-1004. You'll be given the opportunity to leave a message. We ask that you leave, your contact information and a brief description of the issue that you're having, so that somebody can reach back out to you, investigate the concern, and address it accordingly. Many times, photos and videos are going to be helpful with a lot of these complaints, so we'll probably be also asking for your email address at some point to be able to get that information from you. If this hotline is for community concerns related to the town of Monroe. It is not community concerns that are related to any entities outside of the town of Monroe. So if you do have any concerns with anything outside of Monroe's town boundaries, you should bring that up with the appropriate municipality. We understand that your safety is the most important thing, and so this is another opportunity that we're providing to the residents of the town of Monroe to be able to have some place to voice their concerns and their needs. Again, that number is 845-783-1004. The last 4 digits on my wedding anniversary.
Oh, there you go.
See,
I
I
have
won't
some-
forget it now.
I have some questions.
Yeah.
Is this like basically town hall hours? Suppose a call comes in
So
about...
they'll leave a message.
Okay, so suppose somebody calls in and says, there's a wild party going on, the noise is horrible, you're not going to go out and investigate it until the next day.
Right.
And by then, the party should be over.
Hopefully.
So, well, yes, you never know. But
I think then it would be,
who is going to actually go out and investigate it? Is this,
It depends on what the issue is and where the issue is, right?
So example, you could have somebody that consistently parks a commercial vehicle or a trailer on a street. The highway department would be the one going out to investigate that. You'll have a owner who has, a neighbor who has high lawn, that's in excess of, 2 feet, 1 foot, whatever it is. The building department would then go out and
the following
research
day
that.
and research
It's not, like we said, it's non-emergency issues.
Right.
what
It's-
about
it's-
the main number at Town Hall?
Well, it's also, we find that a lot of people are going to Monroe Matters and posting their concerns, and who do I contact? So we're telling you, this is who you contact. This is the number that you call when you say, I don't know what to do about this, and I don't know who to reach out to, so I'm calling this, and somebody will get back to you.
You're also welcome to call my council cell phone. But I also feel like people call the main number of Town Hall, and then we tell them and we direct them, so I'm not understanding this as much, but, yeah, is this gonna direct this? Are we going to get, messages and be able to follow up with these? And okay, great.
Yes, we will.
This would not be for the village of Harriman or the village of Monroe residents. It's
No.
only for town residents.
Only for the unincorporated town of Monroe.
Okay,
Monroe.
just
That's
to
gonna
clarify
complicate
that,
things.
because people get very confused. They just see Monroe and.
But we'll also be able to let them know when we get that message, for those people who don't know where the village begins and where the town ends, that this is
Or
something
they
that
have a
should-
Monroe address and they live in Blooming Grove.
Yep.
Or Chester.
Well,
or-
and that's, yes, a lot of
Yeah.
people don't understand that either.
Right.
Dave Nestor will be checking the voicemail. He also has a form to fill out that will basically list the people's name, address, phone number, what their concern is, et cetera.
Dave doing this from home? Is this a remote
He's doing some of this remote, and he's going to do some of this when he comes in.
when he comes in the one day?
Yeah, well, he's still doing it when he's remote.
Right.
So he'll check it just about every day.
Okay.
And I have the ability to check it too, so.
Well, that was one of my questions, is who's screening the call? So Dave and you are the two basic. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Item 11.4,
Do we need a resolution, Supervisor?
we don't, money expend.
I'm just going by the agenda.
I don't, it does say be it resolved, but there's no, it does say resolution approving the launch.
All right, I'll make a resolution approving the launch of the Community Concerns Hotline designed to assist our residents in reporting non-emergency community concerns and quality of life issues in the town of Monroe.
Who will second?
Call the question.
Discussion, excuse me. Now that I understand that it's a resolution, I would like to know how much funds we're just allocating none. How can that be if we're assigning work to an employee?
It's part of his workday.
But he's working for the prosecutor, correct? He's still working for the prosecutor?
Some of these concerns will deal with prosecution.
And some of them may not.
I would say the
In which
majority
case-
of quality of life concerns will not deal with prosecution.
In which case, they will be sent over to the town supervisor, and he'll be dealing with it.
But he would be fielding it and doing that clerical work. So did we get an estimate of how much that would cost the taxpayer to create and manage and operate a community concern hotline when we already pay an extraordinary amount for phone services, as Mary Bingham pointed out in one of our prior budgetary talks, and each of us has a personal cell phone assigned to us as legislators?
Anything else negative you guys like to say when we're trying to help the public? Yeah, Mary, it's really unbelievable.
When budget time comes up and somebody's going to be over budget, I'm bringing it up now.
Like the court, or like the almost $15,000 we spent on the Reese Group to handle the issues that we were dealing with?
I'm sure there are other things as well that are going to be over budget. So let's not focus on your issues in particular.
Not my issue.
We're asking definitive questions as to how this is going to be paid for and who is involved and where's the budget for it. And you are the budget officer, so I would like an answer.
Budget is coming out of the court clerk's pay.
But
And
it's not all court clerks.
Mary, I'll be
Does-
handling some of this too. I said
I
that.
would have liked it to
I said that already.
have been
I know, you go on
delineated between
vacation
board
and Dave will be
members.
doing all of
It
it.
wouldn't have cost us anything for board members to operate such a nice hotline.
So we have a motion and a second.
Call the question.
Bingham, nay.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, nay.
So moved. Item 10.5, 10.4,
11.4.
11, I'm sorry, 11.4.
Three.
No.
No, 11.4 is Dory Hool, resignation
Oh.
from the Climate Smart Community. I'll regretfully make a motion accepting the resignation of Dory Hool from the Climate Smart Community Coordinator effective August 3rd, 2025.
Second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Item
Can
11.5.
we do the Climate Smart Communities Coordinator position first?
Yes, absolutely. So I'll make a resolution authorizing Lauren Kelly to serve as the Conservation Community, I'm sorry, the Climate Smart Community Coordinator effective August 4th, 2025.
I'm confused. How can we do that resolution if she's not appointed to the Conservation Commission?
I wasn't
first?
appointed to the Conservation Commission.
You were an
Okay.
elected official.
Right, yeah. I don't know how that, I don't actually think that affects anything.
The coordinator for the Climate Smart Community does not have to be a member of the Conservation Commission. It's common that climate smart communities are involved with and made up of the Conservation Commissions, but the coordinator does not need to be a member of the Conservation Commission.
Okay, that makes sense.
Just please repeat that motion.
Second it.
I'll second it. Please repeat the motion she asked you to repeat.
To appoint Lauren Kelly as the Climate Smart Community Coordinator.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Bingham, nay.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
I'm going to say Richardson, aye, but I'm going to bring up a subsequent motion that each member of the legislative body and also the Conservation Commission have user rights so that they can not necessarily be the coordinator, but perform actions and follow along with the program.
Right, so that's in that Climate Smart Community Coordinator position.
Yes, but I'm
position
asking for
description.
everyone on the board to have also access to the same, not the same level, there are different levels that she would be the coordinator and she would give us follow-along access, including the Conservation Commission, so that we can all perform actions and help with the
we
Clean
have
Smart Community.
Dennis Fordham here, the chairman of the Conservation
Dennis.
Commission.
Good evening, Dennis here.
I mean, I did just make a motion, so I don't.
Climate smart communities is an important long-term goal. Dory Hall has been acting as a coordinator, has lots of other duties as well. I've always proposed that it should be a separate position. Indeed, some towns have a task force for climate smart communities, which maybe we could aspire to in the future. But right now, this is one person who will lead this effort for climate smart communities. Their job, and this is spelled out in that draft job description, please revise that. I think that should actually go on as a record, as a position in the town. I'm assuming that's what you're doing. It's an official position as far as I'm concerned.
We could do that at reorg, Dennis.
Yeah, I understand that. This would be a separate position. They will work in cooperation with the climate smart communities, but also work independently, working directly with the board and other town officials. So I would expect them, Lauren in this case, to come to Conservation Commission meetings, not necessarily all the time, but when that's appropriate, report to us what's going on. Indeed, she will need help from us in making this happen.
Now I'm extra confused because I'm looking at 11.5.
That was an error.
It was an error. Okay, I'm very confused because we have an appointment to appoint Lauren to the Conservation Commission. So when I'm hearing you say that like she's unrelated and like we've discussed this because in an ideal world it would be two separate
Yes.
like task force and commission, and anyone who wanted to overlap could participate. What I'm motioning, I was in the middle of a motion, is that Mary Bingham I know, I'm interested, anyone on the board who is actually interested, I feel should have access to not adding and removing people, but to actions performed through a portal for the Climate Smart Community Task Force, because a lot of it comes from our legislative decisions.
Yes,
If we're working from or with, say, NIPA or...
Was this on the agenda? This wasn't
No,
on
I
the
made a
agenda.
motion and you just keep ignoring it, and I've made
Okay,
it
can
like
I,
four
can I
times.
just say, it was, I guess it was sort of an error on the agenda. This always, we had agreed previously or suggested that there be an independent climate smart community person, and this in fact is Lauren. She's willing and able to do this. So that's the position going ahead.
So do we need to make a motion to establish a Climate Smart Communities Task Force? Can we?
No, I don't think we should do that
No,
yet.
that, but that was also included in the original
Yes.
creation of the Climate Smart Community, in which the members of the Conservation Commission, as it stands with many other climate smart communities, were put onto the Climate Smart Community Task Force.
Yes, yes. So I know Lauren will take a lot of initiative in seeing what the various goals and initiatives are for climate smart communities. She'll report back to us, and indeed I would hope to you in due course with plans for moving ahead with certain things we can do and advance. Now, there's grants available in the future, other benefits to the town in terms of conservation and preservation. So I think it's a very worthwhile thing. I'd just say in terms of the position, I think it should have a separate, maybe a separate email. I mean, we now have a separate email for Monroe Conservation Commission. Maybe we can have a CSE at monroenewyork.com. CS, yeah.
Yes.
So we can talk about that. So I just think just
Yep.
to make it an official position with separate email and
It'd be
contact
monroecsc@gmail.
information. Something like that. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Dennis.
Okay, thank you.
So congratulations to Lauren
Yes.
Kelly, and thank you for stepping up.
Thank you, Lauren.
Again, I'm motioning as someone who has tried to work on active climate smart communities tasks, that anyone who is actually interested on this board or in any other body within the town be able to contact Lauren and receive access through the portal. Do we even need to make a motion for that to be approved?
I'm on to item 10.7, so.
All right.
Tony Schaefer,
Mary, you're not interested in the motion of receiving access to the Climate Smart Community Portal as a member of the board?
I think it would be a good thing to be allowed access, yes.
You want to second my motion then, because I've brought it up multiple times and it seems that it's going to be ignored because I've already done this over
I will
email.
second Maureen's motion.
call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, nay.
Cardone, nay.
Full nay.
Okay, item
Richardson,
10.7
aye.
is the resignation of Tony Schaefer, Monroe Joint Parks and Recreation Commission. I'll make a motion to accept, once again, regretfully, Tony's been a great part of that commission, to accept his resignation from the Monroe Joint Parks and Recreation Commission. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, item 11.8 is the appointment of Sean Buckley to the Monroe Joint Parks and Recreation Commission, slot number 5, with a term to expire 12/31/2027. I'll make that motion.
Full second.
Call the question.
Aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
Item 10.9 is the
11.
I'm sorry, I keep doing that. 11.9 is the resignation of Gwendolyn Rios from the Building Department. I'll make a motion accepting the resignation of Gwendolyn Rios, part-time clerk, Building Department, effective July 24th, 2025.
Bingham will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
So moved. Item 1110 is a resignation of Brenda Woodward as dial bus driver effective August 6, 2025. I'll make a motion accepting that resignation. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Item 1111, Justice Court training request from Nicolette Weschler. It's a resolution approving her attendance at the New York NYSMA MCC conference and training taking place September 28th to October 1st at the Albany Desmond Hotel. Conference registration fee is $100. Hotel lodging package, which is 3 nights including meals, is $945. And mileage and tolls is estimated at $154. These costs are covered by Justice Court education dues meetings A000-1110-4189-00, and the board previously approved the Justice Court fundraiser transfer request for this purpose. I'll make that motion. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
So moved. Item 11.12 is the approval of Grace Ponce for the position of part-time court attendant at an hourly rate of $25 and anticipated start date of August 13th, 2025. Orange County Department of Human Resources has pre-approved Grace for this position. I'll make the motion. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you. Item 11.13, Madam Clerk, this is CrowdStrike. Is this isn't you? Okay. So Dory, oh no, I'm sorry. I got this mixed up with something else. You just want to read that because you have to approve me on the next
Sure.
two.
Sure. So CrowdStrike is a license agreement that we have through New Windsor IT, and they have been identified as a municipality who can get it for free. So I'd like to make a motion that we authorize the supervisor to send an email to the town of New Windsor IT, who is the town's IT provider, stating the following: as requested by the town of New Windsor attorney. I, name and title, agree on behalf of the town of Monroe that the town of New Windsor IT department may deploy CrowdStrike licensing provided by New York State to all devices to replace the currently deployed CrowdStrike provided by New Windsor IT. I understand that once the new license is deployed, billing for the current CrowdStrike licensing provided by New Windsor IT will end. This is the antivirus solution software that New Windsor IT uses to protect the town's computers from cyber threats. I made the motion.
I'll second.
Call question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
So moved. Item 11.14 is the retired dial-a-bus number 40. I just want to have discussion regarding the dial-a-bus number 40 with a VIN number ending in 06549. It's been retired since January. We're waiting for the title from DMV to be transferred from the county to the town of Monroe. Sacred Heart Church has shown interest in this vehicle when it becomes available, and we sold them one of the last ones we had, and I think a fair cost associated with that is $650 to $700. So I will let the board determine that. The bus that they have is old. Recently the door fell off, the back door fell off, and they had to have it welded shut. They do service over 200 meals a week in our community, and I think it's an important part of what all the churches do with the food pantry.
Do we know, I know years ago when we approved the other sale, the bus needed brakes at the time, and we took that as a factor into our price for the bus. Do you know if this bus needs any work?
There's minor work needed. I spoke to the mechanics. Some
Okay.
minor work.
Please make sure the brakes work before we give it to the church.
Brakes work.
I was going to ask if this has to be declared as unusable, Brian, or
Of
other
course.
process that we had to go through with the swan boats? I can't remember what the process
Yeah,
is
the
called.
word is surplus. Do we have
Thank
to
you.
Declare it
surplus
surplus?
this?
Yeah, do we have to go through the process of declaring it surplus?
What are we, let me just look at the,
Are we donating it to the church?
Oh, I
No,
just
we're
said
selling it.
Selling it.
650
Yeah, but it's
to
very
$700.
low amount of money. I don't know if that's like,
but what is the surplusing what, though?
It's
The
a
bus.
dial-
Retired
The
bus.
bus.
It's a dial-a-bus that has been retired.
Right, yeah, so as part of the resolution, you can declare the bus surplus in order to get rid of it.
Okay, so
What do you have right now as your resolution? on that?
I'll make a resolution that we sell dial-a-ride bus number 40, ending with the VIN number ending in 06549, that's been retired since January, to Sacred Heart Church for $675, and that it be surplused in order to do that.
Bingham will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool eye.
Richardson, I.
Thank you. 10:15.
Yep. So I would like to make a resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign the Town of Monroe Dial-a-Ride Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan. Any discussion? Call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool eye.
Okay, so moved. Okay. Next up is Acacia Park Baseball Field Improvements Bid. Emery Morris has been working hard at this. She's been working with one of the travel leagues, and what we're going to do, and what we'd like to do, is we would change the field to a 70. Multiple.
When you say 50, 70, does that refer to the number of
It's
feet from home?
From the mound, yeah, the
Okay.
mound from home plate, yep.
So it would be able to accommodate younger players and
And
then also
older.
adult
I think,
players?
well, not adult, I think it's 12 and 13
Okay.
years old.
Not in the major. Just to approve the bid, right? Just to authorize the bid.
Authorize issuance and to allow the town clerk, I think, well, actually, the date's already in this one, so she doesn't even need to set them. So this is to authorize issuance. You will vote again if we receive responsive bids and you want to award it. It'll come back to the town board.
I have a question because I think this is my first park project that we're doing bids on. Is it going to be a project scope that's going to be coming back that is slightly different than the project scope that she's requested and we're going to have to sort, or is it just that is the project scope, that is what we're bidding, and we're just receiving on, we're receiving prices on the identical project scope? Are we
Yeah, we're
gonna-
receiving bids based on the specifications in the bid documents, which is the Schedule A. There may be questions from bidders that occasionally happens, and then the response goes to all bidders. So that's why they have to get the documents from the clerk. And then there could be questions or clarifications, but essentially they'll all be bidding on that work of converting this field to a 46-60 and 50-70 field.
Authorize clerk out, put the field bid out.
Pool second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool eye.
Richardson, I.
Okay, so move. 11:17 is the 25-26 intermunicipal agreement for control of snow and ice on certain county roads.
So, as we've done in the past, I would like to make a motion that we authorize the supervisor to execute the intermunicipal agreement with Orange County Department of Public Works for the snow and ice control on the following roads: Harriman Heights Road, County Road 71, leading from County Road 19 northeasterly to New York State Route 17M, West Monbassia Road, which is County Road 91, leading from County Road 5, Monroe Greenwood Lake Road at Cedar Cliff Road, southerly to the Town of Tuxedo line. This is going to be 5.77 miles, and this is for the remuneration of $31,735 paid to the Town of Monroe. I make a motion that we authorize the supervisor to sign that IMA.
Second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
So moved. Item 1118 is the amendment to the owner-engineer agreement for Monroe Water District. I'd like to table that till next meeting because we still have some questions unanswered from MHE. Do I have a second?
Tabled.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Okay.
Councilwoman Richardson stepped away from the
Okay.
dais.
Item 1119, Madam Clerk?
Yes, so well, I'm showing 1118, 1119, because we had inserted something additional, but for both of the two next resolutions, I am requesting for the board to approve waiving any additional penalties or fees for the parcel located at 207-3-17, as there was a payment rejection, which did not come up until doing research, when balancing the checkbook. I had reached out to the resident, and a new payment was made in a timely manner in the full amount that they had originally paid. So I'm just looking for a resolution requesting the board waive any additional penalties or fees for the parcel again at 207-3-17.
Make that motion.
Question, discussion. They originally had insufficient funds, if I read your note.
Correct.
So,
But what I'm saying is it did not get detected in the report from Value Pay until I was balancing the checkbook.
right, but still, they made a payment where there were no funds. So whether they came in the next day and paid it, or I don't remember if this was like paid on the last day payments were due, or earlier, some people pay December 31st because they want it on the other year. Do you remember when they actually made the first payment?
First payment was made on March 28th of 2025. So they already paid penalties on this. What I'm
They
saying
already
is
paid,
that it went
okay.
undetected on the report.
Right. And
And it was discovered after the fact when tax collection season closed. So I had reached out to them, and as far as the insufficient funds, they put in wrong account numbers. That's why it's showing insufficient funds.
Who put in wrong account numbers?
The resident, when they're entering information, if they put in an incorrect account number, it could come back as insufficient funds. It doesn't necessarily mean.
Because the account doesn't necessarily
Correct.
exist.
Correct. So what I'm saying is that report went undetected in my office.
Okay.
So I had reached out to the residents, I gave them a deadline of when to come in to make this payment. They came in right away, cleared up the bill, and it's done.
How did they pay?
Bank check I requested.
Okay, and so they came in with a bank check, and
Yes.
now
Everything has been
everything
deposited in the bank, correct?
Okay.
Seeing that they already paid a penalty, I agree that there should be no additional penalties. I agree.
Okay, call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Abstain.
Item 10.20 is the same, Val, with the tax number 47-2-34.2.
Correct.
That's 47-2-34.2.
Correct. So same thing with that parcel.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, abstain.
Item 11.21.
That's me.
Yes, I know. I was just going to say, Madam Clerk.
So I am looking for a motion for the town board to approve the general code supplement number 124 estimate. This is for general code to update the code with everything to date that we have adopted. And the estimate is between 1535 and 1880.
Why don't you make it so that it's not to exceed 1880?
Okay.
Okay? Okay. I'll make the motion.
Poole will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
So moved. Return of escrow. I'll make a motion. You have the final detail sheet for Camille Tokarud's ZBA escrow. The final invoice has been processed, and I'll make the motion to return $1,093.43.
Bingham will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Okay, so moved. Next up, return of escrow for 1123 for driveway permit 2022-1 at 250 Scunnamunk Road. So the Highway Department requests approval to return the escrow amount of $1,800 for driveway permit 2022-01 at 250 Scunnamunk Road. The driveway has been inspected and found to meet all current town code standards. As such, Highway Department requests releasing the bond. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Okay, 1124 is the approval to release the escrow for driveway permit 2024-7, 79 Raywood Drive. I'll make a motion based on the Highway Department's request for approval to return the escrow amount of $15,000 for driveway permit 2024-7 at 79 Raywood Drive. The driveway has been inspected and found to meet all current town codes. As such, the Highway Department recommends releasing the bond. Do I have a
Bingham will second.
call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
That's you.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson.
Okay, so moved.
I almost jumped ahead of you.
I know you, I kind of heard that stumble. Good. So this is a stop sign request at Carriage Hill. And I spoke to Bill Brown about this. I'd like to get a legal opinion, not necessarily tonight, council, but there's been a request to install a stop sign at the intersection of Woodland and Carriage Hill and two cul-de-sacs. The request stems from buses, I believe, driving at excessive speeds is what it was termed to me. So I would, stop signs are not put in place to control speeds traditionally, as per our highway department. So I think we have to take a look at this from a legal standpoint.
Yeah, that's actually not just your highway department. That's from the New York State Manual for Uniform Control of Traffic Devices, and that's what that also says, that stop signs are not supposed to be installed to reduce speed. Whether or not there's a necessity one, we usually recommend the engineer review the intersection. Some cases you look at accidents or other incidents, but if it's strictly speed, they shouldn't be installed for that purpose.
And I think we can install the radar lights that you're going in 25 miles an
Yeah,
hour,
that's a
30 miles
common,
an hour.
you know,
Yeah.
some of them put poles in, or some people use temporary trailers for that purpose to see the extent of the problem.
I don't see any attachment. Was the resident, it's a blind are on the intersection pass, and therefore it's dangerous, so the one side of the intersection should come to a stop. There's no request or any attachment. I don't see why this would be on the agenda if we have no study, no request attached, and no legal perspective. Why is this on the agenda?
If I remember the development correctly, there are, off of Woodland Drive, there are, on either side of Woodland Drive, cul-de-sacs.
Yes.
And when you exit the cul-de-sac onto Woodland Drive, there is no stop sign there. And we see this a lot in my development, in Maple Knolls.
Be Rye Hill.
Yeah, it used to be, yeah, until recent, well, I'd say maybe 14 years ago or so. But, I mean, it does make sense that there should be some sort of traffic control there telling people to stop, especially that we do have a lot of new residents who are living in Monroe who aren't accustomed to the way things were in the past. But,
Right.
yeah, there's a lot of intersections in the town and in the village that don't necessarily dictate who should stop and who shouldn't. It's really been kind of a decision that the driver makes, yielding to a road that is more traveled.
Yeah, I mean, some situations are easier. If it's a T intersection, obviously the person approaching, the main road is obligated to stop, but there isn't always a stop sign, but they don't have the right of way. Those are a little easier because you may want to put a stop sign where they have to stop anyway. The reason, to answer your question, these are usually put on is because you've got to decide as a board whether you want the engineer or anybody to look into this at all and give you that report.
Details. I have no details at all. I pulled it up on the map, and it just says Carriage Hill Estates, a stop sign request. So which road are they requesting?
I said Woodland and the two cul-de-sacs
So I'm looking.
that exist there.
Am I in the wrong? Yes, this is Kansas City, so I'm just literally in the
No,
wrong
it's in the
state
town
right
of
now.
Monroe.
Excuse me.
It's in the town of Monroe.
That helps. Carriage Hill.
Hey,
Woodland Road, I believe, is the name of the street. It comes right
I
off
sign
of
up
Pine
for
Tree.
public speaking?
Are we motioning on this?
No. It was a discussion. We'll have our engineers look into it.
So we don't have to. Brian?
No.
They are under a general
Yeah.
agreement, so.
Okay.
I'm going to read the names of the public speakers. After I mention the first name, I'll mention the name who is preceding that, just so that you're prepared for when they're done to be ready to come up. Again, you'll have 3 minutes to speak, and please announce your name when you come up to the mic. First resident is Amy Levine, followed by Dan Burke.
Levine here.
Amy Levine here? Okay.
Okay, Dan Burke.
Dan Burke, you're up.
Hi, good evening. Good to see you. I want to talk about that ethics review.
State your name and that you're.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
You don't legally have to do that.
I'll give you Dan Burke, elder statesman, and I had a birthday on Sunday, so I'm a little bit elder now. And I live at Rye Hill Road, Village of Monroe, Town of Monroe. And regarding what happened with the public comment speaker, I suggest maybe the board members and maybe the people at home go take a look at the video and see what actually went on there. The person came up, and within 3 or 4 sentences, you knew it was personal, it was political, it had nothing to do with town business. It was the chair's duty to interrupt and tell that person that it has to be town business. That's the rules of public comment, which the chair developed, should be followed. He didn't do that. Yeah, our councilwoman made a motion to intervene, and then the chair's job at that point would have been to say, do I hear a second to that motion? Well, he didn't do that. We've almost got like a meeting out of control. And then notice in the video that at that point the chair calls the public speaker by first name. I think it should have been a little bit more formal, especially with the subject that was going on. Yeah, and also while the councilwoman was speaking, the chair was talking to a fellow board member and chuckling. You'd like to see a little bit more formal conduct while that kind of stuff is going on. And when the attorney offered the board member 2 minutes to a response, the chair should have intervened then and said, the public comment says it's got to be 3 minutes. He didn't do that. And then when the comments were finished, the chair said, go talk to the Board of Ethics. Make a complaint with the Board of Ethics. And it's his Board of Ethics.
My apologies if I pronounce this last name wrong. Maria May.
You got it.
Good evening.
Hello. Hi, I'm Maria May. I live in 5 Railroad Avenue, Southfields, New York. And I have been trying to do my due diligence to try to understand the sewer issue. And I don't know if you guys know, but I have a doctorate degree, and so I like to study things and I like to see things in order. And one of the things that I noticed, and I've read every documentation that I found, I've spoken to Mr. Tui, I've attended meetings, I don't see any kind of systematic way to address what is going on. I don't see any kind of system, process for example, today we were talking about, did it smell, did it not smell? I was there, it did smell. But the problem is, it's not that, the problem is what amount of that gas is coming up, where and when, and so we have that information. Mr. Tui is correct that EPA and CDC, the EC, will complain and say, oh my gosh, you have to take care of this. As a town council person in Tuxedo, we've had that, to deal with that. But they cannot do that if there isn't any accurate information to give them. And so, I feel like that is one thing that has to happen. There has to be systematicity, there has to be clarity for dealing with this issue. Or else we'll be back here again. 10 years from now, 5 years from now, more money, more expense, and not a solution. So, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
B.J. Mendelson. After B.J. Mendelson is Jacob Zuckerman, who I believe may have left. In that case, Liam Weishart would be proceeding.
All right. I just want to point out that I asked for a little time on the agenda this evening to respond to Peter Tui's remarks. As a disabled adult, the often arbitrarily enforced 3-minute time limit on public comment implemented by Dory Hull, Scal Scancarello, and Tony Cardone is both ableist and discriminatory. It would seem if you are, for example, a member of the Town Democratic Committee, for example, an individual currently under investigation by a New York State Attorney General, you can speak as long as you want. I mention that person specifically because of the politically motivated attack on Councilwoman Richardson, which rests at the center of this evening's discussion concerning the ethics complaints. I did not hear back from the town clerk about my request. Maybe it went to spam, that's okay. So if I'm cut off from speaking this evening, my attorney is here tonight, and I will take immediate legal action tomorrow. I already was an eyewitness earlier to an abuse of town authority by Tony Cardone. Let's not go for two. Now, on Orange County's YouTube channel, under the Live tab, you can find meetings in the Orange County Sewer District 1 Advisory Committee. Should you view any meetings since March of 2025, you'll see Orange County legislator Peter Toohey, over there, repeatedly lied to the public. I'd like to take a moment to address the most frequent lie that he shared. If you listen to the most recent meeting from July, and Mary, you were there, and you're an eyewitness to this, Councilwoman Bingham, I apologize, you can hear Peter Toohey state about Joel Stern, Isaac Eckstein, and South Woodman Grove, we can't speak to their motives and intentions.
You're addressing the board, not Mr.
I sure
Toohey.
am. That's all right. You want to
Please don't
interrupt me
interrupt
some more,
public
Tony?
comment, Supervisor Cardone. It's against the rules.
Okay, well, this statement from Mr. Toohey came in response to questions about Stern and Eckstein's refusal to utilize the $36,000 they budgeted for in the 2024 adopted South Woodman Grove budget for a sewer oxygenation system. Despite Mr. Toohey and Orange County's frequent claims to the contrary, the primary culprit of the potentially dangerous hydrogen sulfide gas in the village of Monroe is South Woodman Grove. It is not Chester. For those who don't know, Joel Stern and Isaac Eckstein serve as the two unelected co-mayors of South Woodman Grove. This too is a fact because of the village's documented failure to appropriately file a local law change with the Department of New York State. I know this because I filed it. That change, would have extended the time in office for Mayor George Collage from a 2-year term to a 4-year term. So just so we're clear, the village of South Woodman Grove, legally speaking, does not have a legitimate board of trustees making any decisions and promises, like the one we'll get to. All of them are null and void. The village of South Woodman Grove is also currently being sued by Orange County over what the county alleges is illegal construction done allegedly at the behest of Joel Stern in county-owned Gonzaga Park. Like Dory Hull and Tony Cardone, Peter Toohey has been aware of the hydrogen sulfide situation since 2021. This, too, is according to documents obtained via FOIL. In that time, Mr. Toohey has met with Stern and Eckstein at least twice, most recently in the spring. Despite Mr. Toohey's claims to the contrary, Mr. Stern and Mr. Eckstein have told numerous elected officials, including one in a recorded conversation, exactly what their motives and intentions are concerning the activation.
Time's up.
Did we add back the time that was taken away by the interruption?
It was a few seconds.
Not to mention the banging of the gavel, which seems inappropriate, and another abuse of power. Shall we continue?
Thank you, Mr. Mentor.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
I'll be back, Tony.
Mic drop.
Good evening. I'll make this short so we can all go home. My name is Liam Weishart. I reside at 279 Harriman Heights Road in Monroe. I was just interested in the first advisory opinion of the Ethics Board of the year 2025-01. I noticed that the Ethics Board actually confirmed that Pat Patterson oversaw contracts with Peckham Industries. They confirmed that Maureen Richardson reported that she called Peckham Industries and that she had confirmation from Peckham Industries that Pat Patterson had immediately, or presumably prior to his resignation, secured employment with Peckham Industries. So the Board of Ethics actually laid out all this information, but then said they could not verify Pat Patterson's employment because they did not know who Maureen Richardson had spoken to. So they laid out all this information, but they couldn't make a phone call to the HR department at Peckham Industries to confirm that he was actually working there. Then, I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to raise an opinion on this, I just find it interesting, that they decided that the whole question was moot because he no longer was an elected official at the town of Monroe. But the town of Monroe code, and my understanding is based on New York State code, clearly states that it extends past the period of the elected official's term. It says in it that within 1 year. So I just find that all very interesting, and that this board that could not make a single phone call regarding a Republican highway superintendent then cannot investigate subsequent ethics complaints because it's too much work, because they couldn't make a phone call in this one case that would have presumably cleared the whole thing up, but then all these other ethics complaints come along from a Democrat and they won't be investigated. Thank you. Good night.
That's all for public comment.
Anyone else? Nope.
I just want to address, I had a chance to review this, the letter from Attorney Levine, and I only want to address a point with respect to my name being mentioned in there, because I invite Councilwoman Richardson or her attorney to produce documents at the next meeting supporting this statement that was included in their letter. The complaint filed, and I'll read, complaint against Orange County legislator Peter Toohey, who doesn't work here, but that's besides the point, and Town Attorney Nugent for unlawfully obstructing Councilmember Richardson's effort to access hydrogen sulfide test results by claiming they were proprietary and confidential information not available for disclosure under FOIL or otherwise. And this conduct violates FOIL and the First Amendment. I have never given any opinion about proprietary or confidential information when it comes to hydrogen sulfide. I've never even said those words. I know there might have been a conversation with Mr. Toohey, nothing to do with me, but this is garbage to put this in here and put my name on it when there's not a single fact. But if I'm wrong, I'll ask Ms. Levine and Ms. Richardson to produce the documents at the next meeting showing where I gave advice that the hydrogen sulfide test results were proprietary or confidential. I don't even know that we would have them, maybe the county would, but I never made those statements. So I invite the documents to be produced, because if this is the kind of garbage in this letter, I can only imagine the credibility of the other complaints.
Yeah, wow, mic drop, Brian. The one conflated substructure in a, what is this, a 4-page letter that an attorney wrote on a client's behalf within the hour before the ambush. I would have been happy to clarify the fact that Peter Toohey actually came up here and we did confront him, and I actually turned to you and asked you what the town could do, because I believe that they were not proprietary, and you did give me advice, but it was positive advice, and I would have credited you with that had you not been so ridiculous in what a typo. She was probably trying to talk about Rich Golden or the fact that it was Tony Cardone, and she conflated the town attorney with the town supervisor. So I would beg you
Will
to
we
calm
get a correction
down
to
and
that?
maybe.
Will we receive a correction? Because
if you
your letter
ask
is
me
being
nicely,
foiled and
I
put
will
in the
correct
minutes,
the
and
letter.
You
I'm
wanted it
sorry that I
subject
hurt
to
your
FOIL.
feelings.
Did you not? Supervisor, can I finish? Or am I?
Yeah, go ahead. Let him finish.
You told the
Councilwoman,
clerk
please.
you wanted it available to FOIL, so if that's
I'm
going to
happy
be put
to.
out.
Councilwoman Richardson, please let him finish. Go ahead.
Complain about interruption, but all you do is interrupt. So if I could finish one sentence, please. You wanted it put out.
I was in the middle of
Now I guess I
responding to
can't.
you.
Thank you. Thank you anyway.
I was in the middle of responding to
Clearly,
you.
nobody can speak that disagrees with Ms.
Right.
Richardson.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn
No,
tonight's meeting.
we have the right to respond to public comment, and you can't yield board comments. So I apologize that I interrupted you, Brian. However, I was in the middle of saying that I would have been happy to correct that, and that in the spirit of cooperation, as we've all sat through pretty ingenuine comments about cooperation when I've been barred from every single legislative right that I have, I actually would have just corrected that, which I'm happy to do. And I will produce the meeting minutes that shows that I was arguing with Toohey and that the town should have rights, and you did make some comments, but they weren't disparaging.
Or a corrected letter be submitted then.
Okay. So, Mary, I'm assuming that you have some responses to public comment, so let's do that.
Well, the ethics.
But you just used a minute, so you're going to have to finish.
I don't think so.
I can't keep up with this clock.
Okay.
It's discrimination to selectively enforce the clock in the first place. So please let Mary go.
Everything's unlawful. Everything's
Just when you have no idea what you're doing.
discrimination. and
Motion
you're-
to move
you're-
on. How come I
you're-
don't have a gavel?
Your
Can we
best,
respond to
your
public
best and
comments?
most productive quality is your ability to file complaints against everybody in the town and everybody on
Thank
the
you
board.
for complimenting the construct of my complaints. Mary, I'd love to hear from you.
Mary,
From-
did you want to speak?
Yes, I wanted to say, Dan Burke, I agree. Your recap of the events that happened during the public comments, they were, in my opinion, also political, and you were correct that the supervisor should have stopped the speaker at that time. And I know in prior administrations, there were people bringing things up that were political, and the supervisors did stop the person speaking during public comment. So I just wanted to say you made some very strong points, and I agree with you on that. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Dan.
Happy birthday, Dan.
And happy birthday, Brian Nugent. Sorry you had to be here tonight.
Thank you, Super.
I had to really.
Councilwoman Richardson?
So yes, to respond to Maria May's comment regarding this Orange County use law and the smell of the park, thank you for being someone who stands up and validates the plight of the extremely nuisance and obnoxious odor that we are experiencing at varying times due to the nature of sewer odor. It is not constant. However, as we said, ebbs and flows with the sewer itself. Just to answer, I have been emailing the county and asking, if we have this Orange County sewer use law, why does no one know who the administrative head is? Why is there not a complaint form for the users of the sewer district to complain against another user in instances like this? You are completely right. Why is there no prescribed process, and why has this gone on for 10 years when it is our responsibility, our mantle, to create paperwork and process as a government to have this be efficiently managed and taken care of. The only thing I will say is that the DEC is who I've been working with and is the prevailing force on this and also enforcement, who I would like to thank also for referring my complaint directly to the Orange County Sewer District 1 and taking care of and sealing up manhole covers that had been neglected for quite some time. And although the DEC does enforce, it does need people monitoring and referring those complaints in the same way that, you know, if trees are cut down without permit, we cannot have eyes everywhere. We need to be calling the DEC. So it is also our purview to refer these issues to the DEC, and that was not done by Peter Tui or anyone at the county. They were not contacting the DEC in response to repeated complaints by the village officials that the quality of our downtown and our recreation and our shopping districts were affected by this completely ridiculous odor. And then to Liam, that was a great public comment, and I couldn't have said it better myself. And I even have a recording of the conversation that I had with the HR department at Peckham to provide the Board of Ethics, stating that allegedly he was employed there, and that's all I'll say on that. So thank you.
Supervisor, I just want to make one point in response to Mr. Burke's comment about the town attorney giving Ms. Richardson.
I'll let you do it because that's what I was going to do.
Yeah,
But
so
go ahead.
as you may recall, and this is only directed at Mr. Burke, I affirmatively suggested to you after the speaker had spoken that Councilwoman be given time to respond. And the reason I said 2 minutes was because that's about how long the person spoke, and I don't believe Ms. Richardson was cut off either. So that's the reason that I said 2 minutes. That wasn't the normal response time, and I know you're not raising that.
No, you didn't even say that. It was him. He told me 2 minutes, and then I said, what are you talking about? Why is it 2? And then Dory said 3, and I don't even know if you said anything. But you actually did say that I should have time in the background, so it
And
wasn't
obviously,
you. It was Cardone.
as he suggests, people can watch that video.
Yeah. The other part of that is the reason I did not cut her off was because of your concern about freedom of speech. Because before she even got her thought process out, and I'm talking about Mrs. Kiesel, she was shut down by Councilwoman Bingham. And Mr. Burke.
No, Councilwoman Richardson.
That's not even accurate, and now we're just having
Councilwoman-
illegal discussions outside of the timed prescribed.
It's not an
I'm
illegal
listening.
discussion.
It is.
You're listening, Dory?
Apparently it's
Yeah.
unethical.
So, Mr. Burke, you know, I refer back to, you know, sadly, when you were on the board and your professionalism called the public, you made the comment about, oh, this is like training puppies. So before you start casting stones, please think about what was back in 2014 to 2017, because it's sad. You want to attack me, go right ahead. I'll take it. I don't mind it. I disagree with you. I disagree with Councilwoman Bingham's assessment of that, and I vehemently disagree about the way Mr. Weisenhart attacked the Board of Ethics. How does he know whether the Board of Ethics did or did not contact Peckham? How does he know that Peckham would not release any information at that point? He doesn't. And it's all about assumptions, and it's all about rumors that go on here. You want the truth? Come to Dory, Sal, or myself. I can't even say you could go to Councilwoman Bingham anymore, and I'm sorry about that.
Is this chilling of free speech? I would say yes.
Okay. Make a motion to adjourn?
How retaliatory.
Second.
Call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.